Well, fantastic. Again, guys, welcome. Thanks for being here. It's a fantastic Sunday to really reclaim your life. So this is Moss on Sundays, and what we do is on Moss on Sundays is just give you solid, non-philosophical answers that you can use for your life to transform it fantastically. Very simple. Because we always understand, or we always try to go, well, why is life the way it is? And then, people go to experience and people go to, to learn and all this stuff, but it doesn't give you anything solid to go by. It doesn't give you anything, say, to improve your life, right? So Moss on Sundays is all about the deep answers or the deep science on why life is the way it is, and then what you can do to improve it. So the first half is about analyzing your life. Okay. Now, through two near death abilities, I have abilities to analyze you. I don't need to know anything about you. I don't even need to know your name. You can just go, hey, can you scan me, and I can scan you. So for those individuals who I do scan, please comment back on how accurate it was. And it's not about uh, it's not about it's not about me proving to you that I'm accurate. It's about you understanding that there's a higher frequency out there that dictates what this reality is about. Because I know I'm accurate. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get started. By the way, as I work, because it's not about just analyzing you. So this isn't like a psychic show. It's not about analyzing you. It's about analyzing you, see what's going on, and then reprogramming you at a genetic level or your DNA level. And I know that sounds really matrixy, and it is, because it's the next level, or it's the next generation of transformation, or actually the bigger purpose, it's the next level of getting humans into a higher consciousness, because what we've done here hasn't worked out. I mean, look at where we are, right? So and then afterwards, again, family values, bringing in real family values that help you and then future generations going on. So, um, so this one, Salian dreamt a lot of. Anyway, it says, "Hi Moss, could you please scan me and help me go even further?" Yeah. So Solon Grand dreamt. So for you, uh, from what I'm seeing, you finally from the things that you've done with me through exponential intelligence, which is the body of knowledge that I tap into. What's happened is that you've actually literally got a hold of life, which is fantastic. So congratulations on that. So yes, let's help you go further. And those individuals who have practiced exponential intelligence through the 18 days or through the other programs that I teach, let's take a deep breath in and just again notice where you are. This is where you've cleaned up your life. This is where you've gotten in shape. It's like somebody who's been out of shape, who's never worked out before, been destructive and so on. Those are the patterns that I kind of see in you, or was in you. Now, what's happened to you, which is fantastic. Again, you've gotten in shape. You're like a prime athlete, and it's like, well, what can I do with my life, right? So that's where you are. Sometimes when we get into the situation, some of our old goals and passions and so on, they wane, and the reason why they wane for you, or for you specifically, and then others who do the program, is because in the past your passion was to find yourself. Okay. And that's why money never satisfies if you create it the wrong way. Relationships never satisfy, or they never last, or anything else like that. Physical never lasts, because they were supposed to find who you were, right? That connection between you and a deeper level of you, your time-bound self, your timeless self. And then when you connect with them, or we have that passion, because you're going to go, so for you, it's like, if I do X, I'm going to find that passion. And then most people do X, and it's like, shit, I didn't find the passion. Because again, you didn't get that connection. So for many of you, just especially like you, what's happened is that, well, you found yourself. So there's no passion to go forward into that direction, because there's no purpose anymore. So in a short time, you'll find the real purpose. And this purpose, it will help you expand no matter what it is. So really nice job. We'll go on to YouTube, and I'll just put it on the screen for you. Hey, so happy to hear you talk. Just finished another 18 day. It was amazing. Please check on my progress and what's next. It's so fantastic, guys. I get so many results, so many transformations. For those who are new, you can go to the website masajati.com and check out the small amount of thank you letters and notes that we get, because this is real transformation. This isn't just like psychology or anything like that, where you have to go, where you have to go, God, I am good, I am good, I am a leader, I am a leader. That's bullshit. That's outdated. I mean, that helps tiny bit, but what if you were just a natural? What if you could just program yourself as a leader? You don't have to think about it. You wake up as a leader. You wake up complete. You wake up excited about life, right? That's the way to be. You don't need more morning routines. You don't need all that stuff that a lot of self-improvement individuals go about doing. So for you, really fantastic. Uh, you're just in the beginning of your phases of understanding your abilities and power. So in the past, and again, comment back, guys, okay, if you can. Again, so in the past, what's happened for you is that you were never allowed to say show your gifts, or your or even if you did, people would go, well, fuck, it's not a big deal. So what? Again, to squelch you down. And then you'd always have probably, you'd always have like parents and so on to squelch you down because they didn't want to look bad. Or the type that, well, if I had to go through this shit, then you have to go through this shit, right? What kind of family value system is that? We're going to be talking about that in about half an hour. So for you, again, let's get rid of that. You've gotten rid of that, most of it. Now let's help you say define who you are. Where it's like, hey, I am, and that's another thing with exponential intelligence. What I do for you is that most people, entertain or get creative and stuff to try to lose their realities that they're in. This is where you start to get creative and connected and use your abilities. Again, really fantastic abilities of connection, bringing people together, and so on like that. You use that to define who you are. Okay? Not find who you are, but to define yourself even more and expand. So, really beautiful place for you. Really nice job. We'll go to. Let's go to. Oh, and Facebook? Yeah, we'll go to Facebook. This is Hi Moss. I can feel my higher self more and more. Can you scan me? Help me move further. This is Alejandro. Again, a lot of fantastic transformations, especially on the 18 days. And can you change your life in 18 days? There's a ton of people who do. I mean, massively change. Change so far that their genetic, I would push or go to the fact that their genetic makeup say transforms, because they don't age like their parents and so on. Like you, Alejandro, you're starting to look at your say family, and you start to looking at your family and some of their religious beliefs as well, from what I'm seeing, and it's like, wow, my parents aging this way. I think your parents have hip type issues. Your father, your father has the type of back structure that as you age, you start like creeping, like how they like bend forward. So those kind of patterns, you're looking at that and you're going, shit, I don't want that, right? Because you don't. So that's the point that you're getting at, which is a massive shift, because most again changes that people do in other aspects, self-improvement psychology and all those. I don't want to name names, but those types of programming, it's just again surface level. But when you start to look at people, like your family, and go, I don't want to age like that. Especially if those people who are practicing exercise, you go back to your family, through holidays and so on. It's like, whoa, thank God I'm so different, because you see yourself different, and that's what's happening with you, Alejandro. You're seeing yourself so different. So this one is from Sandy Hi, Moss. Can you scan me and see what may be holding me back from my job in this life and how to stop filtering other people's energies through my body? Thank you, Moss. Love you. Oh, thanks so much. So for you, Sandy, again, a fantastic job. Where you are at this point on the XI pathway is that you're finally starting to realize that realize that shit, I'm holding on to people, or absorbing people's energy, and in the past you might have felt that way as well, but the key difference is and again, I'm working on all of you, and when I say I'm working on all of you, actually generating frequencies that help you shift. Okay. If you study frequencies, sound frequencies, and so on, and how they shift water molecules and or sand particles and all that, there's a ton of YouTube stuff on that. Take a look at that. Basically, I shift you the same way. Okay? And there's a lot of science behind it that which I've discussed on my podcast, Xponential Intelligence, starting with an X, and other forms that are on YouTube, by the way. So you can take a look at that. Take a look at the science behind it. So coming back to you, Sandy, before you used to hold on to people's problems, many people's problems to define who you are, to create, say, I'm worthy being here. And that's the key. Many people want to hold on to other people's garbage, just to go, hey, that's going to show me that I'm worthy, right? And the more garbage, and again, this was your past, Andy. The more garbage or the more people you could help, so to speak, or basically burden the hell out of yourself, you would feel like great. But then after, you get full, right? Your garbage can is full. It's like, shit, I can't, I don't feel good. I'm so heavy. I don't know who I am. And then you dump it, and then you start with new friends, new jobs, new relationships, all those things. And then you start over, packing your garbage up. That pattern, how many people resonate with that? Just comment back, right? So that pattern is gone for you. And now you're empty. And now you're going, well, if I get a job, then it's going to fulfill me. So right now, Sandy, till the end of the year, I would just wait and really define who you are first. Okay. So what that means is that you and your abilities are coming up where you're going, oh, that abuse pattern or that lack of self pattern is not me. So push that out. It could have been you, especially as you go to, say, the family, go back to the family, for holidays and so on like that, right? You're going to see that you're different. It's like, oh shit, I don't want that from my mom. I don't want that from so-and-so. I don't want that from whoever. And then, so that's what your job is. Okay. Because I can help you change or rewire your programming, but I can show you, hey, this is the way you should be, but then you have to do something physical to acknowledge that shift in you, because it would be against free will for me to control you like that. Okay. So again, for you, Sandy, is like when you start looking at people and you go, wow, that used to be me. Well, and then and if you don't like your old self, to go, that used to be me, and I want to do something else about it. So you have to change, say, another direction, have another habit. If you're doing something and you look at whatever you're doing at a personal level and go, shit, that's abusive, and you didn't know that before, well, change your attitude, change your habit. Don't just keep doing the same thing again. Okay. So really nice job, guys. We'll go over to Instagram here. 100% the last time we connected, and huge shift and lots of triumph. It's so beautiful, guys. Thank you so much. Hi, Moss. So for you, Colleen Bright, really fantastic. Your abilities are really coming in really powerful. So when your abilities come in like that, you want to stay stable. Many of you, again, when you're a kid, your abilities come in really, really powerful. But your parents and whoever else, those are real family values that I'll be talking about, by the way, in just about 15 minutes. They don't know what to do. They go, oh, that's not true. So again, you had fantastic abilities. And they're coming back for you, basically. So when they come back for you, you want to do it right this time. So the best way to do it is just observe. Don't Don't attach meaning to anything. Just observe. Okay, that's the best way to learn your new found abilities coming in. And then also pay attention to your spine for you, your lower half. Pay attention to your spine as you observe, because you'll start to shift into, say, other realities, or if you want to call it the matrix, different matrices that can exist. So, and I can help you with that, on a more, say, private session, or maybe for those people who have those types of abilities coming up, we can do, say, um, special group meditations. And these aren't meditations, these are literally reprogrammings for you to really hold on to. Really nice job. This one, again, on Instagram, would love if you can check where I am at. Thanks so much. This is Finder Now. Findart Now. Sure. So for you, you really have an attachment with your father. So your father wasn't around, and even if he wasn't around, he wasn't around. And basically, your father or your mom is like they just keep walking away, not being interested. And then you, as a little kid, would go, but wait, look at this, Dad. Look, pay attention to me. Look at this. Look at this. So you're always trying to, run after, say, a masculine figure, your father. Your father. It could be your mom with a masculine figure. Those things I get mixed up because I see frequencies. Okay, so it's a masculine frequency. Again, it could be your mom, and it's always, hey, So you're always trying to, like, hey, what about this? Hey, look at my new trick, and they're just going, yeah, that's what it is. So it sets you up. Basically, so when you get into relationships, you're always running after that person to go, no, I'm sorry, come back, I'll do it this way. No, wait, that wasn't good enough, I'll do it this way. So that's the pattern that you're realizing that, and it's like, well, it's like, fuck, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm good where I am. So it might, and time literally slows down for you, because when you're always chasing after, whether it's a person, a situation, a job, whatever, and then you're losing yourself. That's the key. You're going forward in time, and you think it's about, you're losing yourself to the other person, and you are in the physical reality, but at a, say, where you're created, where you're rendered, where your, say, essence is rendered at. You're literally losing yourself out of time. So it's like you're going forward in time. And so your body's here, but your essence is here, and there's a disconnect. And the further and further you disconnect, or the further and further you run after somebody, basically you get suicidal, depression, and so on like that. So it's a whole different world on why depression and suicide and so on like that happen from an XI standpoint. And what I do works, and it doesn't take freaking years, to get rid of suicide and depression. Usually about 1 or 2 sessions. And again, I just don't say it. It's proven. Some of those who have turned around, please comment back, because I see a lot of new people who are like suicidal and depressive. And that's why I say that. Okay, it's not you. Okay, it's how, and it's not the situation around you, and it's not your chemicals or anything like that. It's literally you not creating yourself in space-time, so you feel disconnected or separate from, say, people and so on. Again, it's got nothing to do with you physically. Okay, and this has got nothing to do with you, Finder, now, although that might have been you in the past, or maybe your mom ran that pattern. So anyway, for those people who are like that, it's got nothing to do with anything physical. And sometimes, and sometimes when, wow, there's a lot of people coming up, say, shit, I'm like that too. And be mindful. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but be mindful of some of your medications that, some of the, psychotic type medication, because the side effects, and this is the reason why those side effects exist, is that when you disconnect from time and space, suicide happens, depression happens. And that's the reason for the side effects, although those prescription drugs are supposed to keep you away from that. But again, the side effects are that. The reason why is because, well, you lose track of your identity even more, and you destabilize yourself. So this one, again, not a doctor, but please help a family member with fibromyalgia. Thank you. They really don't have, again, fibromyalgia is pretty much a made up disease that it's just a slew of symptoms that doctors don't know what to think of because they can't figure it out and they want to be smart about it. So it's like, hey, shit, you've got fibromyalgia. But usually fibromyalgia really starts when people they have a lack of identity. So when you have a lack of identity, you have a lack of an ideation on how your body represents itself here. So when your body, say, loses its identity, you would have, say, nerve type patterns because it's an electrical signal. And you're probably going, well, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But again, the proof is in the bottom line. I've helped a ton of people with fibromyalgia, and it's not just their physical symptoms or pains, because you could take numbing drugs to do that, or take pot. You could do that as well. But this is about you coming together. So I would suggest a session, because whoever that you're talking about, they hate their relationship. They're so disconnected from everybody. That's the reason why they would have fibromyalgia, which is a made-up symptom. So and what we'll do on Instagram is like start another session. This one, can you help me let go of debilitating jaw clenching, headaches? Sure. Again, not a doctor or anything like that, Jody. But when I see you, and I think you're kind of new to me from what I'm seeing, or there's a new awareness in you the last month or two. Yeah, so let's just help you go back. When I see you in your younger days, I see you not in a safe environment from what I'm sensing. Yeah. It's like, when your father would come home and you'd hear the door open, and then all of a sudden there's this tension that just goes throughout your body. So I actually see that now with, if you have a partner, or if you had a partner, just like this tension, or if you think you did something wrong, this tension that comes throughout your whole body. So you're always tense. So and this is where and that tension you just keep in your jaws. Actually, this whole area, not just your jaws, it's your whole neck structure. So again, not a doctor, but let's remove the underlying pattern, so at least you can feel or breathe, because you don't breathe well either. It's not just your jaws. So let's help you remove or release that, and those people who are similar to that pattern as well. Just take a deep breath in, Jody. And then also food-wise, so when you have things that clench, like you're tense, okay? And I see you trying to hide or trying to escape your body, but when you can't escape a situation, especially when you're a little kid, you can't just walk away. You can't leave home. So what happens is just like you clench really tight, hoping for the best, and that's carried throughout your whole life. So let's get rid of that. But when you have, say, a pattern now that you clench, okay, what you would do is attract things that would make you clench as well. And I'll give you an example. Say that you had an abusive, childhood. Okay, that pattern runs in you or dictates how you see life, right? And then you basically attract abuse in your life. Okay, I'm not saying those people, it's your fault, but that's just a program that you ran when you were a kid. Somehow you adopted it from parents or whoever, and then now you're running it, to make it happen. So you would attract abusive patterns. So for you, Jody, I gave you that example just because it's a clear example, and you kind of run that pattern, by the way, as well. So let's getting rid of that. For you, you would create things that would make you clench. And so what that means is even some of the foods that you eat, I would stay away from modified sugars, especially derived from corn, like corn syrup, maltodextrin, glucose, fructose. I think there's about 20 different labels or names. Xanthan gum is a corn-based sugar. So anything that's sweet, and even like corn syrup solids that they use, it's not sweet, but it's a thickener agent. So start to become an ingredient reader, and then move, and then look at all the different names for corn, like modified, whatever they use, sucrose or sucralase derived from corn and so on. Um, um, if you remove that from your diet, your muscles would start to say relax as well. Okay, so it's two sides. One, the underlying, and this is why exponential intelligence is so important, because it removes, say, the underlying pattern of why we're, and then the physical pattern. You'll easily remove yourself of corn. What we're going to do now is we're going to end the Instagram, guys, and then I'm going to start another live session for you, and then we'll come back. Okay, and then for you guys on Facebook and YouTube, I'll read one more individual. Okay, so just give me 1 second, guys. And then we're going to go into family values. So we're just going to wait for people to come in. On Instagram. This one, I just clicked on it. Hi, Mas. Many of the topics you address seems recognizable, mostly in the past. Much of your work over the years have helped me much to change circumstances. Very grateful. Oh, fantastic. So fantastic. I'm so glad. And again, these are Mas on Sundays. These are real, live, applicable, say, answers or solutions for you to say transform your life. Because a lot of times, when people, and this another one I've been so, this one will take Janet, because you go self-improvement and all that stuff. There's so many people out there that do that stuff, and they just tell you the same thing. It's like, well, just have faith and just be happy and just do this, and all those things that are surface level. Yeah, they work, but again, you want to get into the level, the deep down level issues on why your life is the way it is, right? And then remove those, and then psychology and all that stuff works a lot better. This one is Janet. I've been so not grounded. Is that due to new frequencies? So for you, Janet, you've never been grounded in the past, basically, and you're doing the work. And again, I picked you because many people, they think their life is normal. It's like you go to a chiropractor, right? You think your life is normal, and then it's like they look at you and it's like, shit, your hips are out of whack, and then they adjust you. And then when they adjust you, it's like, shit, I feel crooked. I'm walking crooked. But in reality, you're actually, walking, say, stable now or level. So the same thing with you, Janet, is that you're more grounded than ever, but you're actually seeing how grounded you weren't in the past. For example, it's like, say in the past, how you'd always have to like put out fires for you, right? Your relationship, is on fire. You have to fix it. And then you go to something else and go fix it. And then you'd go, and then when that, is okay, you'd go to somewhere else. So it's always like these fires, and that would create your identity. So when you're still now, you think it's like, you're always like, trying to solve problems. And then now that you're still, it's like, shit, I have to solve a problem. What's the next problem? Because that's the way you've identified or created who you are. So people like you would most likely run patterns of like creating drama for yourself to say solve it and then feel good about yourself. Now there's less and less and less drama coming up, and now you feel like you're not grounded, but in reality you are. So again, many people run these patterns. Okay, as you go through XI, that shit has to go. That pattern of identifying yourself through, say, drama, it's not functional for you. So you have to let that go. Um, so let me just help you reset yourself where you can just like sit still. That's another thing for you. You can't sit still, right? You're always thinking. You're always like, okay, I got to do the next thing. And again, because when you sit still, all the things that you try to escape from, or maybe escaped from your mom, from what I'm seeing, or your mom escaped from, that like floods into you. So again, and you try to escape. So the best thing to do for you is like pay attention again to your spine, and then start to observe all those things that are coming through for you. And then you can like settle into yourself and then observe and then deal with it. It's like, okay, that's what happened to me in my childhood. I can, heal myself from it. Okay. And that's what I was helping you with, where you can just like sit still better and observe and go, hey, I'm in control here and I don't have to like escape.